So, Philip, final thoughts?
Wear fucking shoes.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, wear shoes, man.
Fucking put some shoes on.
Why does nobody in this movie have shoes on?
God, it's real simple. Just wear some fucking shoes. Okay?
Yeah.
So many things wouldn't have happened. You know, it's like I got to tell my daughter all the time just to not wear...
Wait a minute. Haven't we done this before?
What
this banter right here. This is we've done this. Have we been doing this God, I feel older,
I mean, we're in the same room.
Yeah, but I'm on the left now.
And these are different microphones.
Oh, shit.
And did we watch another movie?
I think we did. Is this just a bit, or is this the return of the Mad Cinemist Show? It's the latter.
It is. I was waiting. I wasn't sure.
You thought we were actually in a loop?
I really didn't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to give you such an existential crisis right at the beginning of the show.
I thought I've been in this room for a long time. I couldn't remember when I got here.
Well, yeah. So we haven't done this in a while. Mm-hmm. For anybody listening, we're not going to have as many frequent uploads because, life and all that.
Life happens.
But we still really enjoy talking about movies, so... expect a new episode. Let's say, every once a month at the very least.
Yeah, we're gonna try to at least do that. Yeah.
The movie we're talking about today, SLC Punk.
SLC Punk.
Right.
It's a classic. It's a favorite. You know, it's one that both of us have grown up on. I guess that's an easy way to put it.
Absolutely, which is weird watching it now, but we'll get into that later.
We'll get into it.
So, this came out in the movie came out in
98.
Mm-hmm. But it takes place in the 80s, and it's about the Salt Lake City punk scene, I guess,
which is apparently just a couple of guys,
just two guys, and then a bunch of posers.
They're the only real
man.
punks.
Right.
None of the rest of them are punks.
That's and that's something I like to get into a little bit. It's like this whole idea of true punks versus posers kind of thing. Just this is I don't know, man. It's watching this growing up. I think I saw this when I was maybe first time, maybe 15, 14 years old, probably. Right there in the right age to really soak this stuff in. And plus I was, I was a big punker back in the, back in the day, as well. And so this movie as a kid really spoke to me. Right. And it's one of those, it's not nearly as problematic, I think, but it's kind of that Tyler Durden situation where, as a kid, you're like, oh, this guy makes a lot of sense, and then you grow up and it's just like, oh no, he's just talking Nazi shit.
He's just, Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say Nazi shit, but he's definitely being authoritarian in a lot of his beliefs and unyielding. And then there's also a lot about this movie that, it's like you said, it's really juvenile. Yeah. And that's not to say that it's not fun.
And that's
not
a fun
movie.
And it being, I think the word I used was adolescent.
It
being an adolescent film doesn't inherently mean bad. For it to super click for you, you kind of need to be in that same mindset. But yeah, being in that watching it now, older, presumably wiser,
hopefully.
I think it's more apparent just how much of an unreliable narrator Steve-O
is.
really
Hell
is.
Yeah. No,
and
dude.
Not really more, and on some level it's a kind of willful ignorance.
Yeah.
And it's the things he says, he's saying it to the audience, kind of breaking the fourth wall and whatnot throughout. But it's almost like he's trying to convince himself about specific ideas.
100%.
You know what I mean?
He's talking himself into the anarchism idea,
right?
Because he even knows that it's a non-sustainable thing, and but he just doesn't want to listen to his fucking parents.
Yeah,
and this is also
he's just rebelling.
But it's also one of those funny things because his parents are enablers for the way he is, you know, because his dad is basically like, well, you know, I'm just gonna try to be the cool dad and throw money at you,
right,
and let you do whatever you want. And then the mom is just one of those like, you know, 60s hippie, like leftover kind of moms that's like vaguely into this kind of like do what you want thing, and but basically it's an excuse.
Yeah,
but it's an excuse to not be like to have discipline. You know what I mean? And so both of them are like the quintessential negative of the boomer generation that, you know, like this is when the boomer generation were in their, you know, 40s, basically, and they, you know,
because this movie takes place in like early 80s,
like
so Reagan era kind of stuff.
Reagan administration, and like that whole, you know, mindset of the super pro capitalism. So that's kind of what his dad represents. And like, so there's a lot of like bases to this film that you can see that there's an actual critique.
Right.
But what the critique is not is the shit that comes out of Steve-O's mouth.
Oh, no, not at all.
That's not the critique. The film itself is the critique on the thing.
Well, the film itself is the critique on Steve-O. And by the way,
on Steve-O and his mentality of being a rebellious kid that thinks that anarchism is like, you know, whatever.
Right.
Like it really doesn't make a lot of sense the way that he, you know, tries to rationalize his viewpoint, because he doesn't fucking know what he's talking about. There is no point.
Right.
and the movie is mostly about him thinking everybody else is a poser, like we said.
Right.
But
Bob. Right, but Bob, his friend, which, like, okay, what is it? Matthew Lillard is Steve-O.
Yeah, and then Michael A. Gourgian is going to be Bob.
Heroin Bob.
Which I don't really see him in anything else that I really know of, but he's done other films. So there's that. Annabeth Gish is Trish. So Trish is the
Bohemian.
The Bohemian Queen is what they call her, right? And so she's the one that that Bob ends up kind of like having a thing for. And then Jennifer Lean is going to be Sandy, and so Sandy is kind of she's the girl that hangs out. Yeah. And she's not really anybody's girlfriend, but she hangs out.
Yeah, well, she's kind of
Steve-O's girlfriend.
Steve-O's, well, I would say more love interest.
Yeah, that's a good way. Okay. Yeah.
But they have they have an open relationship.
It's not even that.
Because anarchy.
It's not even an open relationship. It's just punk rock. It's like, well, nobody's anybody. Because there's a part, and this actually really got me, and I don't think I really took this in when I was younger. Right. Is that scene in the club when, you know, like he sees Steve-O with Sandy, right? And he kind of gets that moment where he's just like, he goes, "Hey, ain't that your girl?" And he goes, "Nobody's anybody's, man." And then he just goes, "I need to go do something." And then he just goes in the crowd.
Steve-O's getting a lot tonight. Right. Oh, and this is where we're introduced for the first time to Mark.
Dude. Okay, so Mark is my favorite. So that's
Mark is a crazy.
Till Schweiger, you know, if you know him from anything, you know him from Inglourious Bastards, but he's been in a bunch of fucking shit. Yeah. You know, he
is actually, like, when I do remember, I didn't listen to the director's commentary this time. Yeah. But I used to do it all the time, and, like, the whole time during that discussion with, James Marandino? James Marandino wrote and directed this movie. But he was talking up Till as like, dude, you have no idea how big this dude is over in his home country. He was like a huge get at the time. Shit. You know what I mean?
Is he Austrian? I don't think he's German. He's Austrian, right?
I think he's Austrian.
I could be wrong on that, but you know, he's over there. Yeah. He's
a foreign.
Mm-hmm. and he's just my favorite. He is my favorite part of this film, and he always has been my favorite part of this film. Yeah. And, I mean, look, I'll be completely square with you. When I watched this when I was younger, I was fucking getting high on watching this movie. I wasn't really paying that much attention to it, but there was, like, the overt, like, Steve-O's a dumbass, but he does have a point once in a while. Yeah. And that's the way I felt when I was, like, in high school. Right. But now that I'm older, I'm like, No, he's just saying shit.
He's just saying shit. He's just trying to convince himself that what he's doing is okay.
And but you know, there's also that weird. I don't give a shit about doing this sequentially. I just want to kind of talk about it. Yeah. But there's that weird moment at the end of the movie when
I mean, spoilers for a over 20-year-old movie.
Yes, for the handful of people that haven't fucking seen it.
Right.
And the thing is, this is one of those movies that I feel like talking about it will make you just want to go kind of see it if you care. If you care about this, you know?
Yeah.
But that part at the end where he's reflecting on what Heroin Bob did in the basement when they were kids, and he was basically like, you know, all this D&D shit's stupid, and you know, you shouldn't be listening to Rush anymore. You know, we should be listening to this, and
should be out there getting laid.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just him being fed up with being a nerd and getting picked on. So and it's almost like in that moment he's blaming Bob for the choices that he made.
Right.
You know? I really took that's the first time that I took it that way when I looked at it this time.
Yeah.
But no shit. Think about that scene. Think about what he's actually doing. He's like, you know, if it wasn't for Bob, I wouldn't have even been in this situation in the first place. He wasn't reminiscing on it as a good time. He was saying that Bob was kind of being a bully in the situation.
What? That kind of makes sense,
dude, and it's fucking weird.
Like, now that you say that, I'm like, you know, that makes,
because if you think about Steve-O's character, he's never going to accept liability for his own actions,
right?
You know,
it's not well, and that goes back to like him and Sandy,
right?
And when he walks in on her with the other dude, he doesn't,
he should have just kicked rocks, man.
He should have just kicked rocks. But on, I guess on some level, I do.
Oh no,
this
no,
is what I'm talking about as far as
thing,
you get the rage. You know, you get why he did it. But as he's doing it, he's rationalizing it in his own head. It's just like, it's not. Yeah, we had an agreement, but this motherfucker was encroaching on my territory, my territory, and it's like, oh, that's kind of icky that you like refer to her that way. But at the same time, it's like,
you get it because it's like an instinctual thing. And that's also part of the thing that's a little.
But
funny.
That's the thing is, like, he didn't blame himself.
No, he didn't go,
that situation.
I didn't mean to outburst on you like this. I felt away. Instead, he's trying to rationalize it.
Yeah, he's always going to rationalize his actions in his own head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a lot of the movie is him rationalizing things. Now, some of my favorite shit about the movie is what's his name? Is it Sean? Is that the guy?
Sean, oh yeah.
Okay, so Sean is Devon Sawa, and he's been in a shit ton of shit. That's the guy from Idle Hands, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you know, we that's where classic. I was. Yeah, exactly. That's where I was introduced to that whole like him and his whole thing, where he's just that wide-eyed, wacky,
slightly manic.
Yeah, slightly manic.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. He's a biter. You know what I mean? Like he was he was that kind of kid. So and himself too. You know, he was like the kind of kid that he'd see bite marks on his arms. You're like, hey, where'd those come from? I did it. I was bored. All right. All right, man. We all knew one of those, right?
The scene. Anytime you see Sean, it's so good. It's really good. This is a comedy, by the way.
Right, and if you can just like kind of set back your
it's got a very particular. I mean, I kind of want to say punk rock, but not really.
No, this is it has a punk rock aesthetic to it, but this is a very thought out movie as far as it being like I will say, they do a lot of things in this movie that I feel like has the spirit of the punk rock filmmaking side of things.
Right.
Like the intro. The intro's very good. It's like throwbacks to a bunch of albums, also, but with the credits, and then like, you know, that scene where they're talking about all the different groups of people, and they're showing them on that board where it's like tape that has the graphs and all that shit.
Mod. This is a dude. This is a punker. This is
that made me feel something when I was looking at that.
Redneck.
Yeah, where I was like, see, this is the spirit of these type of movies, and I feel like in the '90s people were really like all about this, and this is the same kind of thing that like. Kevin Smith would do, or
kind
like
of.
you know. It's a throwback to the film style that we don't really have as much anymore.
No, but it kind of blew up in like, especially like more independent, like movies and stuff like that. It was just kind of the film language of that.
Right.
that scene.
And I don't know. This had to have been an independent film, right?
This was more independent. Yeah.
Was it released at
Sony Pictures?
Okay.
At least
was it a sidewalk thing or?
I first saw it on.
It made
the Independent Film Channel.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
You know what? I think I saw it on IFC as well. I used to miss that whole thing.
But
hell, it didn't actually come out until '99.
Really?
Yeah, so yeah, it was finished in '98 and then came out in '99. I was trying to figure out how much it cost, and all I see is what it made, which was $300,000 in the box office. So I could see this.
I could see this being a
break-even movie.
Break-even, yeah.
That's what I'm looking at with this number. Maybe you guys broke even making this film. Maybe. Right? But this is also the kind of film that this shit doesn't happen anymore, where they probably made a fuck ton on DVD sales on the back end.
Correct.
Because this is going to be the kind of film that was like a cult classic for rental places.
Right.
You know?
Rental and people who just vibe with this film.
Right. You like I said, it on DVD. You have it on DVD, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, and here's the
physical
thing.
Media, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and here's the thing too about this movie. It is like I will say it is 100% one of the most rewatchable movies I think I own.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Because I've seen this movie, I can't even tell you how many times since.
So, what's your
time.
list of rewatchables like indefinitely? Like, what? Let's say you have 3 to 5 movies right now, other than SLC Punk, that you would put on and not have any.
Not even really think about.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters is one.
Sweet.
Man, kind of put me on the spot here.
I know. At least do 3. I bet you can do 3.
Well, maybe not specifically movies, but I definitely think of a few. I can at least think of one series that I just put on anytime, and I can just watch it all the way through. Is K-On!
Okay. Yeah.
You know. And what's another one? What's another really, really good movie? That's just is not. It doesn't even have to be a good movie. Just something that you
could. Yeah, it doesn't have to be good. Yeah, it's just something that you could watch and not like never get tired of.
Because I will say that because I did. Okay, so in preparation for this episode of the podcast,
you watched it how many times?
I watched it 3 times, and at least the first time I was like, "Well, this is okay," but you know, again, there's that I think the older you get, the more detached you get from the Steve-O's outlook. You know,
teen angst.
Yeah, I think you kind of get separated from the angst a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's certain things are. None of this is hard to watch.
No, not at all.
Like I said, it is incredible. Like. You can watch this movie on repeat.
Right.
It could be like the punk rock A Christmas Story. You know, you just play it for 24 hours.
Right. Yeah.
During
and seriously, every time Mark's on the screen, that's my favorite.
That's probably the best part.
God. So let's start getting into some of our favorite parts then. Let's talk about that. So I think that. The beginning of it's pretty good when they're just like, we fucking hate rednecks. Like the movie opens up with, we fucking hate rednecks. Yeah. And then they go.
One thing about all of us is we all hated rednecks.
Yeah. And they just go jump some dudes out of a truck wearing cowboy boots.
Right. Well, and did you notice how padded those dudes were?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Cause they actually hit them.
Yeah. Those were actual metal bars they hit them with. So they padded the actors. Dude. And they look like it. Here's the thing. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah. If you're not paying attention, you wouldn't even care.
Right.
Yeah. Which I didn't care, but I did look at it and I was like, I noticed that shit a lot more. It's
That's not how muscles do.
It's like, that scene in Gladiator when the big dude is getting filled with spears?
Yeah.
That's so obvious. He has big foam pads in his shit. It's so obvious. It's like the worst looking scene in that whole movie.
Right.
And they had to digitally recreate one of the actors because he died, But we're not talking about that. But yeah, it was obvious they were padded. But that whole, like, we fucking hate rednecks thing is a theme throughout the movie. And that's one that I'm just like, yeah.
Well, okay, so like I don't think it's a theme specifically about rednecks. I think it just feeds into the whole like theme of tribalism.
Because that's right.
Because that's really it. You know, it's just like because Steve, that's what he's like. He's always talking about different tribes,
right,
and talking about people who go in between the tribes as ambassadors. And
what's his name? James Duval. Which again, it's funny. I was just watching Donnie Darko, and,
right?
You know, so he's the rabbit dude, Frank. His name's Frank. So
we're going with Frank.
We're going with Frank. But anyway, Frank's the king of the mods on this one, and he's basically the guy that can go back and forth between them. And he's super cool, nice kid, but he's also part of this group of guys.
Him and Sean, his mom takes him to soccer practice.
I guess I didn't realize that mods was a thing over here as much. I knew it was definitely
more of
a
an
British
English
thing.
Yeah, more of a British thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I didn't know about that.
Maybe more towards the west.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because I can't remember it.
But this also isn't our generation.
Right.
It's really the people above us. This is more like the Gen Xers growing up. Right?
Early Gen X. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just funny because I just don't see very many films that talk about like American mod scene. So that's okay, cool. That's
I guess
fine.
that happened.
Right. Yeah. I have always known about it on the British side of things because that's that whole Beatles and later kind of thing that happened, especially in the 70s. But anyway, so there's that. There's the rednecks. There's the mods. And hold on, they had the list. So what was the
metalheads?
List? The metalheads, and then
the metalheads beat up.
The Nazis beat up the metalheads, and then the metalheads beat up.
They also beat up skinheads in this movie. Which thumbs up, guys! It is always morally okay to beat up a Nazi.
Fuck them up. Fuck them up.
But yeah, it was what was it? The rednecks beat up the punks beat up the skinheads, the skinheads beat up the metal kids, and the metal kids beat up the new wavers. And the new wavers don't beat up anybody because they're basically the new hippies.
Yep. Bitch ass synth having motherfuckers. New wavers. Go listen to your Pet Shop Boys and cry. No, man.
But that's just a good part. I will say there is still, even though I kind of, now older now, don't agree with anything he's saying, that one speech that he's doing in the mall where he's talking about like poser punks and it's like, and like, is the one argument that everybody tries to get into: who started punk? Oh, it's the Sex Pistols, it's the Ramones, it's the Sex Pistols. Right. Who cares who started it? It's music.
Yeah, I do agree with him on that one. And there are a couple of moments of clarity that come out of Steve-O's mouth where you're like, okay, in spirit, you totally are right here. I get you.
Yeah.
You're just a fucking dumbass.
That's it. It was the Ramones, by the way.
It was. It was the Ramones.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was that black group, War or whatever. I thought they were.
Yeah, that is actually true.
Yeah. Is it War? Is that what they're called? Is it called?
No, Death.
Death. Yeah. Because War's World is a ghetto. Because I know them. They're a funk band. Because it's Death.
But I don't think they were ever called punk back
no, they weren't.
Because you got to think about...
When you start something, they don't know what to call you.
Exactly.
That's how you know that they're punk, they didn't know what to call them when they came out. And that's the funniest part.
Right.
But no...
genre is all about categorization anyway.
But the problem to me is when genre is mostly used to A, tribalize, and B, sell you something.
Well,
like,
and that's kind of the contradiction of like just punk in general,
right?
Because at least on some level, it's supposed to not be about labels. It's supposed to be a come as you are kind of thing, but it ends up being very exclusionary because humans categorize things. They inherently categorize things.
We're trying to understand stuff. We can't understand the complexity of everything.
We inherently other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, that does not, and this is where this thing becomes a real touchy subject, is just because we inherently other, though, doesn't mean that makes it right to feel that way on a de facto basis.
Right.
That doesn't like justify.
And also you got to think, at least in the case of this movie, the way that Steve-O others and basically falls into tribalism is a way of coping with shit, growing up essentially.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. And again,
not,
rebelling against his parents. Because, I mean, think about it, dude. At the beginning of the movie, or not the beginning, fairly close to the beginning, it's when
that is also one of my favorite scenes.
When he's talking to his parents?
Yeah. For the first time in my life, I'm 18 and I can say, fuck you.
Yeah, totally. Which, by the way, his parents are Christopher McDonald. Again, I was just watching Happy Gilmore, so that's Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
He's so good, but he's good in everything.
Yeah.
That man's always pretty much that guy, and whether he's playing a shithead or whether he's just playing a schmarmy regular dude, he's always doing it. He's always in it, man. But no, in this movie, he's perfect because he's really trying to love his son, and the whole.
And he does.
What are you doing with this hair thing? Like, what is this? Like, in my day, it was long hair, the hippie thing, that whole thing. But what is this? What's going on with all this? You know,
right.
you're not. The people are going to look at you and they're going to be confused. That's all I'm saying. They're not going to know what to do with you. You know, you have to change this.
Right.
And then what's the mom's name? I don't know.
Well, yeah, she's one of those that
McNally Siegel.
Okay.
Segal.
Let's go with McNally Segal.
Let's go with Segal. Oh yeah. What else she's been in? The Negotiator. Hell yeah, she was in Coneheads.
Oh, she was in Coneheads.
Pleasantville. Oh yeah.
Oh,
cool.
I knew I recognized her.
Right. So also,
this has got a pretty stacked cast.
It does.
Dude.
Well, this is kind of funny because I brought this up earlier about The Believer, right? So the girl, Brandy.
Yeah.
So the girl that
Steve-O ends up with by the end.
Yeah. That Trish introduces her to.
Basically calls him out on his shit.
Yeah. So she's in The Believer.
Oh, okay.
And the whole time I was looking at her, I was like, why does she look familiar to me? What else have I seen her in? And this is the first time I looked it up to actually see it.
Right.
But so she was in The Believer.
Okay.
And The Believer, it's interesting. I don't want to get into that one.
Right.
But yeah, it's just all of these connections with other actors where it's just, you know, this is a good jumping off point. This is totally a movie you can Kevin Bacon to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and then like Adam Pascal is in it, and like I said, Jason Segel is Mike, and okay, so Mike is a character,
we haven't talked about Mike. Mike is awesome. Oh, yeah. On the subject of Mike, but also I did not realize how young a lot of these characters actually were.
Yeah.
Which again, adolescent mindset. Yeah. It makes sense.
Well, they're right out of high school, so they're like 18, 19.
Bob and Steve-O are just out of college. Oh. And I kind of did the math because he says he's 18, fuck you. And then it's 4 years later. Oh. So 19, 20, 21. They're 21.
Yeah.
They're like 21, 22.
Okay.
When this movie takes place.
Okay. You know. Okay.
So they haven't figured their shit out yet.
Right. But so he's the guy who he's like the meme thing about like if you see this dude at the punk show, you know it's about to get fucking wild.
Yeah.
He is that guy.
He is that guy.
That looks straight laced. He's wearing the glasses. He has the polo on that's tucked in with the belt and the khakis. Mm-hmm. And then if you get near him, he'll put your fucking head in the brick wall. Yeah. Just because you walk past him.
Or if you start fucking with one of his friends, he's gonna beat your ass.
Dude, when because that's really good. At that same party where he gets where Bob gets jealous, right? Bob then throws himself on stage to then thrash around, and the security guard comes over and starts beating his ass, right?
Right.
Well, Bob doesn't even defend himself because he just wants pain right then because he's pissed off, right?
Exactly.
But Mike fucking is just like, hold on a second, while he's talking to Mark, he's just like, hold on a second, and walks up and then
hold these,
and then he just starts beating the shit out of the security guard, and he fucks him up.
Oh yeah.
And then later it shows them all hanging out, and he's explaining to him
for the band.
He's like, well, it's just kind of the punk scene thing, man. Everybody gets up on stage and starts thrashing around. I wasn't really, it wasn't anything specific.
But I'm a bouncer. Yeah, I'm the bouncer for the band.
Well, I see somebody beating on my friend, and I'm gonna go up there and defend him, man. It's nothing personal, we're all good. It's just part of the scene.
I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't skew your thought. Yeah. Ruin your trip to America.
That's what he said. I hope this doesn't ruin your trip to America. And he's just over there just grimacing and pissed off.
Well,
and he's
Mike's
got a big
nice guy.
He just gets into it.
Yeah.
And there's a switch that flips in that man. And then they're talking to the singer, and the singer's all like, no, this place is too crazy,
Well, and that was, I think, the whole point of the scene, because that was like his exhibit A for why you know the American scene is more hardcore, essentially. Yeah,
right.
You know,
Yeah, because he was trying to say the British are pussies. Oh yeah, because that's right after the mall thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas like we did it harder, and we did it faster,
and we definitely did it with more love, baby.
Yeah, fuck, dude, he's so.
He's what, man? He's like, of course he's a pre-law.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
asshole.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh man. So anyway, so Mark. So I'm saving this one for the end because this is seriously my favorite shit out of the whole movie.
Oh, absolutely. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When they're
him going through just the stuff he has.
Right.
That every time you see him, because he's the drug dealer that you have to hang out with, but he also doesn't really deal drugs as his main thing because of like that whole settlement. You know?
He's independently wealthy because his like parents died in a or
his whole family
died in a plane crash.
That he was also in. Yeah, so it was like, and the story's awesome when he's telling it. I won't even ruin the story. Just watch this movie. But like
shit gets wild.
Yeah.
Kind of on a dime.
But every time that he's showing off some shit, like he'll have he has a laser disc player, and he's like, "You see this silver record? There's a movie on there."
Yeah, it looks like a silver record, but it's not a silver record. It's a laser disc.
It's a laser disc.
And I love it when he's talking about the waterbed with no waves.
Totally.
So normal waterbed does this, but this one has no waves.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just buy a regular mattress without any waves? This one doesn't have any waves.
Well, he's talking about his TV. He's like, I spent $100,000 on it or whatever. He's like, it wasn't that much, but whatever. He's like, you could buy a car for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, dude, he's so funny.
And he's just taking Steve-O around, and like at some point,
the shower, dude.
Yeah, the shower is really fun.
The shower has 5 different settings, and now I will show you all of them. Like, he's my favorite part, and the shitty part about it is that like he keeps having these explosions because obviously he's like unsettled.
Well, he's got some kind of like PTSD
because of watching his family die in a plane
like
crash.
Serious trust issues because he's.
And then also being, Eastern European, he just immediately has. But no, he really does totally flip a switch, and I think about him stabbing people in Inglourious Bastards. Like this last time, I kept thinking about it. How every time you see him, he's just fucking stabbing folks. You know?
Well, that whole like sequence from the time they're trying to buy the drugs to the time where they're trying to get rid of the stolen car because Mark flips out. Almost shoots Heroin Bob.
Right.
And then it's one of those like the way he makes up with them is like, oh, my bad, it was a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke.
And it's like, and then he's kind of still holding the gun,
dude. And he has no fucking trigger safety.
Right.
He's just on.
He's just on it.
See, okay, now that I know more about guns, there's a lot about that scene that just either gives me the willies or it's like, whatever.
Well, because
like, if he had shot that fucking gun inside the house, all of them would have been deaf immediately. They've just been deaf, and they'd be like, "Oh God!" Like so there's that, and then past that, like he never takes his finger off the trigger the whole time and points it at people while he's talking to them.
While he's basically intimidating them
but
into forgiving
after he's
him.
trying to say, that is what he's doing. I didn't think about it that way. He's not just being unsafe. He's doing it intentionally to make them understand that he could go back to being angry at any moment. Oh man, he's a psycho, and I love him for it. I really like. This
is a caricature, man.
Dude,
and it works.
He's my favorite part of the movie, and he's really the leg that I would say that this stands on the most for me to go back and watch it again. I do like Matthew Lillard, but I could see me getting tired of the shit that he's saying. I mean, like, I don't know. There's a chaotic energy to this movie that kind of you kind of at a certain point. I don't want to say you turn your brain off, but you just start to kind of vibe with it. And it just kind of takes you to the end. Right. And I watched this in 2 halves, but it worked out because I found a good spot to stop, but I still felt like it wasn't a problem to pick back up on or anything like that.
Well, I feel like this movie, like, I mean, I did not make the comparison to A Christmas Story lightly, because I really do feel like you could walk into a room with this movie on, and at any point you can find something. You know, it's not like you have to know what's going on. It's not like because there really isn't an inciting incident for real. It's just kind of, it's really more slice of life.
Yeah, it just,
like just kind of moments.
Yep, just pops in, pops out, and like the end of it though, like when Bob dies.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually explained Bob, for real.
No, so let's talk about Bob.
Yeah.
So he's the straight edge kid.
Yeah. All he does is smoke cigarettes and drink beer. He hates needles, which is why they call him Heroin Bob.
Right.
You know, it's ironic.
Yep. But even like going to the doctor. I love. That's actually the other scene that I like a lot is the hospital scene.
That one's really good.
Very good. It's very, very good. Because he decides to punch a mirror and fuck his hand up and then not do anything about it.
Yeah, he just wraps it up in a fucking dirty t-shirt.
And then he passes out while they're in like a deli or something like that. And she's like, "Is he good?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, he's fine. I got him."
Sure, he'll be fine.
And then they go to the emergency room and they peel it back and he looks like, I mean, dude, it's the worst.
It's black and like not just like dark infected green. This is like neon green.
I mean, it reminds me of the scene from Requiem.
Yes.
Like I think this movie fits in neatly with Requiem and with Trainspotting.
Yeah.
But this is the lighthearted friend of those two movies. This is the one that's like, hey, but also fun. Whereas the other ones, you're like, oh man, this is getting worse. You know, it takes it to a point at the end of the movie, but even the finality of the film, which we'll get to in just a second, it doesn't feel like as much of a it doesn't feel as sad. You're like, oh, that sucks.
But it doesn't feel like a downer.
It doesn't.
Real.
It's really just more like shit. Yeah, that seems like it would happen. Yeah. Whereas the other two movies grind you into the dust. But really, I feel like this has a lot of similarity to those two films.
Yeah, I can see,
especially Trainspotting.
I can say
more Trainspotting than.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I feel like if you've watched Trainspotting and you haven't watched this, you really should give this one a shot.
Totally. Yeah. But so Bob.
Like you say, but anyways, Bob. So straight edge dude doesn't do anything but drink and smoke cigarettes.
Yep.
Yeah, he's at a party and he starts having a headache, which is like weird because when they were in the hospital and he was quarantined, because they ended up quarantining him.
Yeah, because he had a new kind of
virus out of me after me.
That's so good. They're like, how's he doing it? And she goes, you ever seen The Exorcist?
Did you like it? Anyways, like, you know, Steve-O's talking about it, you know, and he's just like, man, we couldn't even get this motherfucker to take a Tylenol.
Right.
But at the end of the movie, he's got a headache. He's been drinking.
What do they give him? Is it just headache medicine, dude?
No.
What do they? Did they give him roll?
They gave him something like that.
I think they gave him. I think they gave him ecstasy. I think they gave him some roll.
Some kind of
although I don't. Okay, so I'll be completely honest. I don't know what the drug scene of pills would have been in the early '80s. I do know that people were doing pharmaceuticals at that time. So they were doing like Quaaludes and they were doing like.
I think I think it's actually Quaaludes that they give.
Then that makes the most sense because Ludes were the one that everybody had and everybody did, and a bunch of fucking people died because of it. I mean, it's part of the reason we ain't got the king no more.
Well. But so here's where what fucks me up about it though. Why was Bob so willing
to take Ludes all of a sudden?
Well, he didn't know it was Ludes because he
just thought it was headache something probably.
Because she's like, I have headache medicine.
So, well, I bet he was actually...
didn't tell him what she was giving him. For real. But if he's
Who is it that gave... Was it Trish that gave it to him?
No.
Who is it that gave it? Because I don't remember.
She's not in any of the rest of the movie. She's one of the she's like one of the mod girls. Because, you know, she's hanging out with the two mod guys.
Right. Okay, I got you. So she's just there and has drugs, and the mods obviously do hella drugs, and so she didn't think that it'd be a problem to give him some fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
And then he takes a handful of them instead of one.
Right.
Which I think she was offering him one.
And he just... But that's weird to
with
me. It's
drinking.
Like, yeah.
What is it that took him to that point? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is it Trish though? Because I think it's also weird that the whole time the whole time Steve-O is talking to him, he's got that whole like, you're being a poser because you're falling in love. You're being a poser because and this is probably the first time Heroin Bob actually felt like he had somebody that enjoyed him for who he was.
Their relationship is great.
It's pretty great. Yeah, she's totally that kind of girl that's so into herself, but at the same time seems like an alright person. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't seem like she's like a shithead.
She's as equally into other people.
Exactly.
Though.
Yeah.
I think that should be
right. That's a good way to put it. She's not some kind of narcissistic weirdo as far as like a she's actually very altruistic. And she's trying to help the scene go forward, but she also has an image that she has to upkeep.
Oh, of course.
So it's a little bit of like a both thing, which isn't. But like I could see her coming off as being a douchebag. If you met her in person,
a little navel gazy.
Like if you met her in person, I could see her being like, you'd be like, okay.
Maybe at first,
right? But then you'd be like, oh no, she's just strange, and I like strange. Okay, that's cool. And then the way that like she accepts Bob for who he is, and Bob's never had that before.
No,
so of course he fucking fell head over heels for her.
Absolutely,
because before that it's basically just been them hooking up with girls.
Well, and here's what I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. Do you think Trish got Bob into weed at some point? Because there's a couple of times
there are
where
a couple
it's
times
like
where
we never
like
actually see him smoke.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in the head shop. She owns her own business, man.
So you literally think it was a gateway drug? That's what you're trying to say to me?
Maybe.
You're trying to put propaganda into things.
I'm just saying, hey,
reefer madness on a Bob
wouldn't take even Tylenol.
Right, and then all of a sudden he takes
and
whatever.
then all of a sudden he's okay with taking. And now he doesn't know.
He might, but also
he thinks it's just regular headache medicine.
I honestly feel like this was a little bit more of just like a. He was probably having like a migraine, like a real bad one. He was having a migraine. He was already drunk. Fuck. Yeah. He wasn't just kind of drunk. He was drunk as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it. He took those pills. He wasn't freaking out in the bathroom an hour later.
Right.
That was almost immediately.
Yeah.
He was already that drunk that he was in the recessive, I'm going to go back into my thoughts kind of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he was like almost unresponsive. And then when that shit started hitting him, that's when he passed out. Right? But I really think that he was so drunk that and then he had this thing hit him in the head and he's just like, I got to get rid of this. I can't do anything about this. Because he looked like he was going to throw up when he stood up. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So I do see what you're saying. Maybe he got coaxed into being more and more okay with doing drugs.
more accepting in a way.
Right. But this does have like an anti-drug spin to it, which is also kind of funny because the end of the movie, it feels like, going back to it, because basically he goes home and the way like Steve-O is trying to play it off and continue to talk to the girl.
Yeah. He's just like, hey, can I call you later?
Right. And his friend is fucking
because now Steve-O's fallen in love.
Yeah.
And now he's a poser.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's taking Bob home and he throws him down on the mattress and he's talking to him for a second.
Well, I don't think Steve-O knew that he
took
anything
because he was hanging out with the girl.
He just thought he was drunk. He just thought his friend was drunk.
I hadn't even considered that.
Because when he punched the mirror, this is obviously something that Bob
he threw something at the mirror is what he did.
He doesn't like mirrors.
Yeah.
So when Steve-O walks in, it's just like, my buddy's drunk.
Yep.
This is something that he's probably seen him do before.
So he just thought it was no big deal.
It wasn't a big deal. Man, he's just drunk, man.
I didn't think about it that way. I really thought that he knew and just was playing it off.
Well, and think about the drive home.
Yeah.
Because I think Bob might have known something was wrong because he's very confessional.
He did know something was wrong. You could tell. But he was like, I've never been in this place before and I don't know what to do about it. And it's not that Steve-O
isn't listening to him.
He's in his head about the girl. He just had a great night.
He just wants to get his buddy home. Hey, man, it's okay. We're going to get home. You're going to sleep this off. And
we've all done shit before. We're good,
and you've been the sober one or the sober one driving somebody home and they're rambling and they They, they had a bad drunk night or they got too fucking high, and you're just letting them
talk.
Yeah, letting them talk, man.
Yeah, and so I guess I assumed that he knew, but it does make more sense that he actually didn't realize that.
Right, well, because he's spending the whole night with Brandy. He's not paying attention to Bob.
Oh, man.
Until he breaks the mirror. Yeah. So he didn't know.
I do like it that they didn't show the next scene, which logically happens after you wake up in the morning and find your friend dead in your fucking trap house, which is him going like, well, I guess I'm going to not call the cops and leave on this one, because that's the scene that they didn't show.
Right.
But no, I like no joke though. Like it's fucked up because he wakes up in the morning and he's like, hey, Bob, we need some food. Let's get some food. And
well, then, he because he kicks him like he always does. He's like, all right, get up, man.
Right.
But then he sees him. I think he actually looks at him, and you can tell immediately he knows what the fuck happened.
Yep, he's dead.
So,
and that's fucked. It's real shitty. It's also, like you said, it's taken lighthearted, and then I really feel like right after that, when they're showing the scene in the basement, it is him blaming Bob on the lifestyle that they both chose.
I feel you there, because I mean, even when he's like, and understand he's in a emotional state,
right?
I mean, it's like Matthew Lillard's doing a damn good job in this scene, I think.
Oh, no, he's awesome in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's also, the whole time he's like crying and shit, he's calling him a poser. Only posers die.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's because he doesn't have anything else that he can say. It's kind of like the same thing where like some folks, especially back in the day, just used to call everything gay. It wasn't even particularly because the word meant anything at that point. It was just them trying to say a thing. And that was the only thing that they knew how to call stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I got my one insult, I'm fucking dumb. And it's pretty much the same thing with Steve-O. He's like, oh, you poser, fucking poser. It's the same kind of dumb like response kind of thing. And I've known people like that like call shit being a poser, and I've always been like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a thing. Like, I'm
I don't. I thought this was about no labels.
I thought.
Why
that was
are you labeling things?
Man, but yeah. I don't know. But the movie wraps up in a really weird way, and it kind of makes you feel a little empty at the end, I'll be honest with you. And this is one of those movies that has this vague, like, lingering feeling at the end where you're like, man, Steve-O's kind of a bitch.
Well,
he's kind of a poser himself.
I mean,
he is the ultimate poser, right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's just like if you have to force yourself to do something that, if you got to work that hard to be a certain way,
right?
There's something you should examine that,
right? No, I agree.
And that's the thing, and it's like I don't think Steve-O ever examined that aspect of him, because again, the whole time he's breaking the fourth wall, he's not really talking to you. He's trying to convince himself.
And maybe that's what it actually is it's like a self-insert kind of narrator, as though he's the one watching this movie, talking about you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's a little abstract, but yeah, overall, though, I just have to say, we might sound like we're being critical of the movie, but no, the movie's a great time.
The movie's great.
Movie's a great time, and it's very quotable.
The acting is very good.
Yes, very good. I think the shots are done well, and I think the stuff that they're leaning into the indie punk side of filmmaking is super cool, because it does feel rather authentic that they're trying to do that. And I don't really know much about the filmmaking side of things.
It takes a lot of effort to look like you don't give a shit.
Yeah, it does. Right. And that's kind of what this movie proves. It takes a lot to put up this image.
Right.
There was a thing I was listening to Nick Mullen talk about where he was saying, like, you don't know the lengths that I will go to not do something.
Oh, yeah.
The effort I will put in out of spite to not do what you've told me to do.
That's great. I think it's and again, going back to the whole like Steve-O being the ultimate poser. I mean, remember I brought up a song, "The Dead Milkmen."
Yeah, totally.
Punk Rock Girl. I mean, that's basically what the song is about. It's about a girl who is basically a poverty tourist in the scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know,
so she's rich and
super rich,
yeah.
which Steve-O's actually rich, which is another thing. It's just like he talks about them not having jobs, them not having money, but
they don't seem to have a problem.
They
with
don't seem to have a problem.
Like,
yeah. So it's just like, we know that the money ain't coming from Bob's parents.
No.
You know,
no, but it's most likely that he either has an account that he's had for a long time that his parents put money into, or a trust fund, which is very possible that he's just has one he can pull from.
Yeah, and again, it goes into that whole poverty tourist angle.
Yes,
it's just like, why
they
would
don't
you
have
live
to
like
be there? Or he doesn't have to.
He does not have to be there, and there is I mean, they've known Bob forever.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that Bob
they just
knows
help him. Yeah.
Steve-O's parents,
you
know?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, they don't have to be there, and you're right. It's a poverty tourist thing, and he's the ultimate poser in this entire film.
Yeah. I think that wraps it up for the most part.
Yeah.
Phil, final thoughts?
Yeah. Think before you speak. Real simple.
Yeah.
Just think a little bit before you just start jabbering about shit you don't know.
Right.
You don't want to sound like fucking Steve-O.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.